Hello and welcome to another special edition of Your New Puppy. If you haven't been following along, for the month of October, I am doing Q&A Tuesdays. So every Tuesday, I'm in my messages on Instagram and Facebook answering your training questions. And I've gotten so many fantastic questions that I've pulled out a few and I'm answering them here in a special episode of the podcast. So these are going to be questions that I feel would be useful to all of my listeners. So if you have your own questions, all you have to do is find me on Instagram or Facebook. Both are at Playtime Pause. And next Tuesday, send me a message with your question. So this week, I got a lot of questions about crate training. So I decided to do a little theme today. So I have 4 questions. They all have to do with crate training. I talk about crate training a lot throughout all of my episodes. The 2 main ones I have are episode 28, which I talk about why you should be using your crate even when you're home, and episode 5, which is the main crate training episode where I talk about how to get your dog to love their crate, which is exactly what a lot of these questions have to do with. So let's dive right in. So question 1 is, I'm thinking about using 2 different crates, one downstairs in the living room, one upstairs in the bedroom. Is this okay, or is this going to confuse my puppy? It is perfectly okay. In fact, lucky puppy. When I talk about choosing a location for your crate, I always say that, during the day, you want them in an area that's social, not isolated. So something like the kitchen or the living room are perfect because it's where, you tend to hang out a lot. So when they're in their crate, even when you're home, they know you're there. And when you're not home, they're still in a room that smells like the family. But when we turn to nighttime, yes, your puppy will adjust better if they're sleeping in the bedroom with you. That being said, I've seen plenty of dogs adjust to sleeping outside the bedroom at night. If you have a crate in both places, that works. When you're crate training your puppy, you're getting them used to a safe, enclosed space, not that crate specifically. So it will translate between the two. When I used to board dogs in my home, if they were crate trained, I would just use my crates, and there was never, ever a problem. So the fact that it's 2 different crates is not a big deal at all. The fact that you want to switch the locations, again, that is fine. That definitely works. Okay, so the next question is, despite treating with high-value treats, my puppy hates her crate. Tips to get her to like it. Okay, so first, everything that your puppy loves happens in the crate, especially when you first bring them home and you're crate training them. So her favorite toy only gets it in the crate. Her favorite chew, like a bully stick, is one of my favorites. She only gets it when she's in her crate. You can feed them in the crate. When it's nap time and they start to kind of fall asleep, scoop them up, put them in the crate. Because what you'll notice is when they start to get a little tired, they'll gravitate towards their crate. And when they're in their crate, they're going to associate it with taking a nap. So hopefully they'll just fall asleep. Puppies do resist the crate, but it's not the crate itself that they're resisting. They do not like being separated from us. But it's something we have to teach them, or else we're going to be dealing with a dog with separation anxiety for the rest of their lives. Being separated from their family, from their pack, isn't something that comes natural to dogs. We have to teach them this because they're living in our world now. And one day, they're going to have to be left alone. And we need to teach them that that's okay. So when they're young and they're separated from you, that feels really super uncomfortable. So they're going to whine and they're going to cry. Now, if we go over and we give them attention, even if it's a glance over, even if it's okay, or worse, we let them out, then they learn, oh, well, when I cry and whine, I get attention, or I get out of this crate. So then the whining becomes just looking for attention. But as new puppy owners and new parents, we just see our dog throwing a tantrum and we get really upset and we think they hate their crate. It's not the crate they hate. They're either having trouble being separated from you, which we have to do anyway, or They're just screaming, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. And we have to teach them that that doesn't work. So the solution is you got to ignore the whining. You got to let them whine it out. And as soon as they're quiet and you count to 3, then you can let them out. Okay. Definitely probably the most common puppy training question I get. Now, this next one is, I finished the crate episode, but I have a question. From the first day she comes home, should I start using the crate and close her in it for sleep? My advice is yes, for both potty training reasons and safety reasons. Crate training and potty training are the only 2 things that you need to start from the moment your puppy gets home. I have a new mini training coming out in November about what to do those very first few days home and what to focus on. And those are the only 2 things. So both of those mean, yes, they should be sleeping in the crate from the very first night. Now, if you don't plan on having the crate in the bedroom, she's probably going to struggle. So I would rather see you camp out with your puppy to help make that adjustment for the first night. Because when it comes down to it, then you're just going to have an extra struggle the second night. So yes, I do believe you should start using the crate from the first night. And the last question is, when can I phase out the crate? Oh. So if you follow me, if you've been listening to my episodes, you know that my answer is, well, never. To this day, my girls still sleep in their crates. There are many, many reasons to continue your dog's crate training throughout their adulthood, to keep them used to their crate in some way. It opens up your options when it comes to traveling with your dog or boarding your dog. If there's an emergency and you have to leave your house with your dog, if your dog is comfortable in a crate, that is one less thing to worry about. If they ever have to stay at the vet, they will definitely be staying in a crate. And if you know they're comfortable with it, that's a lot of stress that you don't have to deal with. And I can go on and on. That being said, at the very, very least, you should be using the crate on a regular basis and every day until 18 to 24 months. Because up until then, they're still going to be going through some rebellious stages and their chewing stage. So simply because of safety, that is the very youngest I think you should start phasing out the crate, if you're going to, which I don't think you should. So I hope that helps. And that's it. I had other crate training questions, but they were all pretty much asking the same type of stuff because these are all very common questions I get about the crate. So again, if you're listening to real time and it's October of 2019, you can join me next Tuesday for Q&A. And if you have a training question, you can send me a message through Facebook or Instagram. Both of those you can find me at Playtime Pause. And that is all I have for you today. You can hit subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying this podcast, you can really help me out by rating and reviewing it. That also helps other new puppy owners find the podcast. And if you want to continue to train with me, you can join my 4-week puppy course for new puppy owners called Your Perfect Puppy. Not only do you get 4 weeks of video lessons and bonuses, but you get direct access to me to ask me all your training questions, not just on Tuesdays, but for a full year. You can find more information on the course at playtimepause.com/puppy. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be speaking with you soon. Bye for now.